President Biden has responded to the Nashville shooting. I have one moment from him on that, once again reiterating his support for an assault weapons ban, outlining in the video I'm going to show you the very correct point that there just is no need within our communities to have semi-automatic rifles. And the fact that so many disagree with that is absurd, but here he is saying this.
According to law enforcement, the shooter of this horror had 2 assault weapons and a pistol. And what in God's name are we doing? These guns are the number... This is hard to believe. I never thought when I started my public life that guns would be the #1 killer of children in America. Guns. #1. It's sick. And overwhelmingly a majority of gun owners agree. We have to do something. Not just everybody, the gun owners agree. There's a moral price to pay for inaction. Last year, we came together to pass the most significant gun safety legislation in 30 years. It was bipartisan. We got it done. And don't tell me we can't do more together. So I again call on Congress to pass the assault weapons ban. Pass it. This should not be a partisan issue. It's a common sense issue. We have to act now. And people say, why do I keep saying this if it's not happening? Because I want you to know who isn't doing it, who isn't helping, to put pressure on them. You know, I know you see on television, it's not just merely the weapon in terms of that it's semi-automatic in effect, but the velocity with which it comes out of that muzzle, what it does when it hits the body. Most bullets would go just straight through and out, but it blows up once it's inside your body. What in God's name does anyone need that for in America?
Completely agree. And we see shooting after shooting, AR-15s being used in so many of them in terms of mass shootings. And the same response from the same people. Their distorted, incorrect view about what the Second Amendment means. And choosing this misunderstanding or mischaracterization of the rights that we have over so many human lives, and more specifically in what we're talking about here, so many children's lives. And how many times, whenever it's time for them to demonize LGBTQ people, for them to obsess about the woke indoctrination they feel is happening, or critical race theory more specifically, do we hear protect the kids, protect the kids, protect the kids? I don't want to hear that one more time from any individual who doesn't support common sense gun control. You have absolutely no place to speak on protecting the children. If you cared one bit about protecting American children, you would care about the leading cause of death for American children, which is firearm-related deaths. And no longer can we continue to watch the same cycle. It's sickening. A mass shooting happens. They say, oh, it's this, that, no, it's nothing. It's everything other than the killing weapon that's designed to kill as many people as possible in a short period of time. That is far too easy to get within the United States. They say it's everything other than that. Interesting, because in states with stricter gun laws, as a general rule, gun violence is lower. States with looser gun laws, gun violence is higher. And in states that have stricter gun laws, a massive amount of the guns being used in these crimes are coming from states with weaker gun laws. But that's just a coincidence to them. Or the fact that the United States has way more guns and they're way less regulated, and we have way more gun violence than other developed countries that have more strict gun laws. It doesn't matter. It's a coincidence. No, it's really the doors at schools. And they are perfectly fine concocting this idea of schools being some sort of prison, Uber Max, tons of guards and secured in all these different ways, which is great if we want to secure schools. But all of that's just to distract from an obvious way to address this. And so when Biden says, when he is asked, why do you keep saying this if it's not going to happen? Meaning an assault weapons ban. Of course the answer should be because people need to know who's stopping the solution. And it is those within the Republican Party who are against gun control. Let's invest in mental health too. Oh, it's crazy because it's actually Republicans who will stand against funding mental health programs as well. Let's talk about a big way we prevent all sorts of crime is properly investing in poverty and properly investing in communities generally. Yes, and gun control. And stop dishonestly portraying the reality of the Second Amendment to stand against action that would save human life.